What if you could travel faster than light? Fast like the superhero Flash or Superman? Well, that's gotta be impossible, right? Since there is no speed faster or even equal to the speed of light. It's obvious. But SpaceX and NASA have created a very fast engine, or should we say, light speed engine, that's gonna make the impossible unbelievably possible. So do you want to know about it? Then watch the video till the end. Hey guys, welcome to the Elon Musk Planet. Get the latest news by subscribing and turning on your notifications. Also, leave a thumbs up to show your love. Having said that, here we go. In a recent interview, NASA engineer David Burns revealed that he has been working on a design for a new type of spaceship thruster that he calls the helical engine, a design that may not comply with the laws of physics. According to Burns, if he had enough time and power, the engine itself would be able to reach 99% the speed of light. Burns describes the engine in the paper he posted to NASA's server. In a recent paper, he wrote about a weird error in Einsteinian physics that allows for such a strange engine to be made. This is accomplished by accelerating a loop of ions to nearly light speed and then manipulating its velocity and therefore its mass in accordance with the laws of relativity, allowing it to achieve the ultimate free lunch in space travel. Forward thrust without shooting anything up behind. However, even if the engine works in practice, it will have other disadvantages as well. It has been reported that a helical engine 200 meters long would generate about the same amount of force as typing your way across a keyboard. So, while Burns may be right that it could accelerate to near light speed, the process would take a very long time. According to Burns, I'm comfortable with throwing it out there. If someone says it doesn't work, I'll be the first to say it was worth a shot. According to NASA scientist David Burns, he is working on a way to launch a special spacecraft with the use of propellants to reach the stars. In addition to this, he also believes that the machine may be capable of moving almost at the speed of light. Apparently, the futuristic spacecraft will be able to propel itself into space using in-space engines which do not require fuel either. In most rockets, the third law of Newton's law of reactivity dictates that every action will have a reaction. As soon as they leave Earth's atmosphere, they are launched into space with the help of a propellant. From one direction to the other, the Burns fuel engine, on the other hand, would not operate in accordance with this principle of physics. The NASA engineers at the Marshall Space Flight Center in Alabama developed the helical engine, which is the machine designed to power the space station. Using the mass-altering phenomena occurring at near light speed, the spacecraft is able to blast into space without needing a propellant in order to reach its destination. Due to the fact that the helical engine is expected to travel at a speed of 99% of the speed of light, there is a chance that this craft would be able to succeed in making this attempt. In a paper that Burns recently published on NASA's Technical Reports server, he provides a detailed explanation of how the system would work. In his opinion, a helical engine is basically a ring placed within a box that has a tendency to bounce in one direction while the box recoils in the opposite direction. After the ring placed inside the box hits the end, it springs backward, which causes the direction in which the box recoils to change as well. Usually, this would only cause the box to wiggle back and forth under normal circumstances. Due to the fact that both the box and the ring would be traveling at the speed of light at the same time, the ring's mass would increase by the time it reached the front end of the box. Due to its faster travel speed on its return, as a result of this, momentum would be created that would lead to forwarding progress. However, it is also necessary to point out that in a vacuum, like in outer space, this would result in the entire box appearing to wiggle with the weight appearing to stand still until the jiff solidifies around the weight. As a result, if the weight were to increase only in one direction, the box would shake in the same place. But the thrust would be greater in that direction if the mass of the weight were to increase only in one direction. Thereafter, everything behind you would appear black, the clock would slow to a crawl, the planets would cease to revolve, and time would seem to stand still. However, if you make it stable and take Dr. Burns' idea, it becomes revolutionary in the sense that the rocket fuel is completely eliminated. It is possible, in accordance with the principle of conservation of momentum, the momentum of a given system may not change even in the absence of any external influences. Even though there were many propulsion systems at the time, none of them have been properly developed. However, SpaceX could have at least one of their Raptor propulsion systems, and they are actually in operation, but they do sometimes get caught up in the huge sludge. But for the most part, it doesn't hamper them. Although there may be a special relativity explanation for this loophole, this special relativity is based on the principle that objects gain mass as they approach the velocity of light. Therefore, if you restore the weight with ions and the box with a loop, then you can theoretically have the ions that are moving faster at one end of the loop and slower at the other. As a result, the problem has been solved. However, this is not the rocket that you'll blow up with the fireworks. Because Dr. Burns' drive isn't configured as a closed loop, as it is a helical, like a stretched out spring, which is why it is called a helical engine. Thus, it can be said that even though the helical engine would not utilize a propellant, particle accelerators that use ion particles could perform the same function. In other words, the principle used to operate this engine is the same. Right now, the only obstacle standing in the way of Burns' goal is the size of the engine. In order to make the entire process possible, the engine must be 200 meters long and 12 meters wide. Unfortunately, these dimensions would make the engine unusable for space travel. In a recent interview with The New Scientist, when asked about the possibility of this idea becoming a success, the NASA engineer said, "I'm comfortable with throwing it out there. If someone says that it doesn't work, I would be the first to say that it was worth giving a try." In addition, he said that you have to prepare yourself to be embarrassed. "I find it extremely difficult to come up with something that is new under the sun and that works at the same time." As with other rockets, it would require a large amount of power. Around 165 megawatts of power to generate 1 Newton of thrust, which is about the same force that you use to type on a keyboard. Therefore, the only environment in which the engine could reach meaningful speeds would be the frictionless environment in which the engine would operate. According to Burns, if you had enough power and enough time, the engine itself would be able to reach 99% the speed of light. But the idea of propellant-less proposals is not a new one. A US inventor named Robert Cook patented a motor in the late 1970s that was supposed to convert centrifugal force into linear motion. At the beginning of the 2000s, British inventor Roger Scheuer proposed the idea of the EM drive, which could convert trapped microwaves into propulsion power. Although neither of the concepts described above has been demonstrated by a successful experiment, both are widely accepted to be impossible due to the violation of the conservation of momentum, a fundamental law of physics. It has been estimated that the helical engine will suffer the same problems as the EM drive, since Dr. Martin Tajmar at the Dresden University of Technology has performed a test on the EM drive. According to him, inertial propulsion systems have never worked in an environment without friction, and this is the first time he has seen this. In contrast to the other machines, this one uses special relativity rather than general relativity, which complicates the picture. But unfortunately, there is always an action-reaction aspect. Burns had worked on his concept in private, without any sponsorship from NASA, and he admits that the concept is massively inefficient. According to him, there is the potential to harvest a considerable amount of energy that the accelerator loses as a result of heat and radiation. In addition to this, he suggests ways to conserve momentum, such as the spin of accelerated ions. As he says, "I realize that it risks being on the same level as electromagnetic drives and cold fusion, but you have to be prepared to be embarrassed. It is very difficult to invent something that is new under the sun and actually works." According to Dr. Burns, by exploiting a loophole in the laws of physics, the engine could theoretically reach speeds of around 297 million meters per second. Anyways, what do you guys think about this? Let us know in the comments. Lastly, if you're a science and Musk fan, then hit the like and subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next one. For now, peace.